Alright students, Logan Phillips here. Today we're going to be working on the Microsoft Excel, and we're going to be working on the Improve It Project 3-7. So I've opened up my assignments. I have my instruction file here. You can see it's the Improve It Project 3-7. We're going to be creating some forms, some fillable charts. We're going to put some gradients on some sidewalls and some floors on the charts. And so we're going to be doing a variety of things with this particular Excel spreadsheet. Now you can see here I have my worksheet opened and I have a split screen system, so my instruction files are on a separate screen. You will be seeing those. Now I will call out the lines that I'm currently working on as we're working through this file, that you can have this open or printed out. I encourage you to print it out on your own so that you can work on them separately. And I do apologize, I have a bit of a cold and so I am sniffling and whatnot. Alright, so we're on step one. We've opened it up. We've saved the document as our name. You should be seeing your first name and last name at the very top. If you don't see that, then it's not going to be digitally signed to you. You need to go back online, download it again, and start the project over. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to insert a new row at row 8. Alright, so to do this, we're actually going to click on the row 8, and we're going to come up to our Home tab in the Cells grouping, click on Insert, Insert Cell. So that gives us a new blank space for A8. And in A8, we're going to type in motorcycle with an uppercase O. And in cell D8 through, or B8 through D8, we're going to type the values of 15. I'm using my right hand arrow, 15, 82, and 24. Alright, so we've inserted a new row and we've inserted the numbers 15, 82, and 24. Next, we're going to change the pie chart object to a 3D pie chart and apply the chart style number 3. So let's go down here and click on the pie chart. We're going to come up to our Design tab because we're going to make changes to how things look here. And we're going to change this to a chart style 3 and a 3D pie chart. So let's go ahead into our chart styles grouping on the Design tab of our chart tools. And we're going to choose a 3D and chart style 3. So here's chart style 3, and then let's modify it to a 3D chart style. Now the simplest way to accomplish the creation of the 3D chart is actually to come onto a blank space on your chart and double click. This will open up the Format Chart area. And we have a few different choices here in the Format Chart area. We have the Fill and Line, we have the Effects, and we have the Size and Properties. So I'm going to choose my effects, and I'm going to choose to go into 3D format, and I'm going to 3D format this to a 3D style chart. I'm sorry, I jumped in a little bit too far. What we actually want to do here is go to our Insert tab, go into the Charts grouping, choose our pie chart, and we're going to switch this over to a 3D pie chart. Alright, so we've done a 3D pie chart and we've applied chart style number 3 to the pie chart AJP at this point in time. Now again, those step throughs are pretty simple. We went to our Insert tab, came into our Charts grouping, chose to make it a 3D pie chart at first. Then we went to our selecting the chart, go to Design tab, and we chose chart style number 3. Just hovering your button, our mouse on top of it, will give you that particular name. Now to step 5, we're going to switch the row and column data for the column chart at this point. The data series for motorcycles is not included, so we're going to click on the Select Data button on the Chart Tools Design tab Data Group and reset the source data to show cells A5 through D5. So let's go up here to the Policy Type by Agent chart. We're going to select on it. Then in our Design tab on our Chart Tools, we're going to click on the Data grouping and we're going to choose to switch row and column. You can see here that our row and column data switches over pretty easily. All it does is put the automobiles and policy types in different locations. All right. From here on to step 6, we're going to select the data range, Select Data button, and that is still in the Design tab in the Data grouping. We're going to select our data and we're going to include all of it instead of just the automobile, homeowners, recreational, and valuable items. So we were missing that motorcycle, we just added those together. That was step 6. We're going to hit OK. On step 7, we're going to change the column chart scheme to color number 7, which is gray, in the monochromatic groups. So let's go up here to our Design tab, our change colors group, and we're going to choose in the monochromatic, and we're going to choose numbers 7, which is gray. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So our types are all changed to 7. If you're using Microsoft Excel 2013, your color group is the color number 11 gray. So from here, we're going to start modifying this chart and making it into a 3D style. So let's go ahead and jump in and start modifying this. We're going to add a sidewall, we're going to add a floor, and then we're going to give some gradients to these sidewalls and floors. Now before we get into the step, I really want you to see a little bit of an item here. If you follow the yellow line, these are all in a 3D format. So the way it looks like it's 2D, we have actually a 3D depth of field on all of our columns. And this yellow line comes straight across, straight across, straight across until it stops, and then juts down at about a 45-degree angle. So where that juts down at the 45-degree angle is our sidewall. And underneath the columns is our floor. So we're going to select the entire chart. We're going to come up here to our Format tab. We're going to go into our Shape Styles, and we're going to do a Shape Fill. And we're going to choose a gradient fill here, and we're going to put a gradient fill on olive green accent 3 to the sidewall. So let's go ahead and hit olive drab accent 3 to the sidewall. So to accomplish this task, we're going to come right where that 45-degree happens, and we're going to click on it. Now you're going to see 4 little blue dots highlighting the sidewall alone. If you click the whole chart's going to have a solid drab accent 3 in fill. If you click the back, you'll see 4 dots around the background, or if you click the bottom, you'll see 4 dots around the base. So make sure you select the sidewall itself. There we go. It might require a double click to get just the 4 on the sidewall. We're going to choose a shape fill. We're going to choose olive drab accent 3, and then we're going to do a shape fill, and we're going to do a gradient of a linear down gradient. So let's find linear down gradient. Linear diagonal, linear down gradient. And make sure that you've chose that in the linear down gradient of the light gradients. So linear down. Next, on step 8C, we're going to apply the same fill and gradient to the walls element. So let's click on the walls. Again, it's just the wall, and we're going to choose shape fill, olive drab green, and we're going to choose, let's make sure that's olive drab green, accent 3, and then we're going to choose a gradient linear down. Okay, so we have a wall, we have a sidewall, all both filled, so it's starting to look a little bit more 3D. So we're on to step 8D, and then we're going to apply the olive green accent 3 lighter 60% no gradient to the floor element. So again, we're going to click on the floor element to make sure we only have the 4 blue dots on the floor. We're going to shape fill, and we're going to do olive drab accent 3 60% lighter. And so we have a floor, a sidewall, and a backdrop to this. Next, we're going to select the grid lines, and we're going to use the Shape Outline button to format them to a black text 1 lighter 50%. Now to accomplish this, you have to click directly on one of the grid lines. So we have major and minor grid lines. I'm going to find one of these yellow lines. You can see when my mouse hovers on top, it says vertical value. I'm going to click on that value. You can see that at the top, I now have a shape style that's in the shape of lines. So I'm actually going to be changing the grid lines here. And we're going to change the grid lines to black text 1 lighter 50%. So shape outline, we're going to do black text 1. We're going to choose lighter 50%. And right there. Alright, so we've done step 8. We're on to step 9. And on step 9, we're going to select the pie chart object and change the colors to color 7. So we're going to stick with this gray format here. So let's click on the pie chart, and we're going to come up here to our design tab, and we're going to change our colors to that monochromatic gray that we had before. Now for me, it's Gray Palette 7. For Windows 2013, it's Gray Palette number 11. And I made one little mistake here. I did the whole chart. I need to do just the pie chart. So I'm going to hit my Control Z, and I'm going to select on just the pie chart now. You can see there's multiple blue dots selecting all the pieces. And I'm going to change its color to monochromatic gray. And then I'm going to modify the background at this point. I'm going to use olive drab green accent 3 to shape fill for the pie chart area with a linear down gradient for the light variations. So I'm going to choose my backgrounds, and I'm going to choose my, I'm going to come up here to my chart tools, format tab. I'm going to choose shape fill. I'm going to choose olive drab, accent 3, darker 25%. I'm sorry, accent 3. And then I'm going to do a shape fill. I'm going to choose a gradient, and I'm going to choose that gradient down or linear down again. Next, we're going to apply a half point olive drab green accent 3 darker 25% outline to both the chart objects. So let's go here and click on both of our charts. So I'm going to select one chart, the whole chart. Then I'm going to come over here, I'm going to hit my Control button and select my second chart, and we're going to put a background, an outline across the entire chart. So here we're going to apply a half point olive drab accent 3 darker 25% outline to both chart objects. So I'm going to come up to my chart tools, I'm going to come into my format, I'm going to choose to do a shape outline, and I'm going to choose a shape outline of olive drab. I'm going to choose it to be a half point, and I'm going to make it a accent 3 darker 25%. So it's olive drab, accent 3, darker 50%, darker 40, darker 60, %. I'm sorry, I was like, man, that seems wrong. Here we go. Olive drab, accent 3, darker 25%. And then we're going to do it to the next chart. Format, shape outline, weight of a half point, and shape color, olive drab 25%, darker 25%. So we have a nice outline across both of the chart types. We've applied a gradient fill on the sidewall and the background. We've applied a color to the floor, and we've made the pie chart a 3D pie chart at this point. All you have to do from here is save the document, upload it, and get your points.